Hello, good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight, Ximena. And let's begin by first you sharing with us how you really developed your passion for the field that you are in.
Yes, and I wanted to add to that question: is it a passion, or was it? Did it develop in some other way? So please.
Yeah.
Thanks.
No, I think that second question is perfect. So again, I'm so glad to be with you all. Thank you. I would say, so I am in marketing. I'm a marketing manager for our what we call U.S. International Business Unit at UPS. UPS has been around for almost, we're actually celebrating next week our 115th anniversary. So it's a very old company, but it's been able to, as you can imagine, innovate and shift over the years and expand its business model. We do the entire supply chain and logistics. I know you recently had a supply chain expert, so you already had an intro into the industry, but I am particularly in the marketing function. And so, and for our US International Business Unit, so we really focus on US exports, so anything originating from the United States going all over the world. And typically our customers are still based out of the US. We have some external based customers, but most of them still are based out of the US, but again, want to basically grow their business, grow and expand their product line. And so I do the marketing. I do particularly our digital marketing, our channel management. So I work with our direct sales teams. I work with outsourced sales teams. I work with our paid advertising, our paid search, our promotions team, our emails team. So basically think of like the communications. How do we communicate to customers? And that's what I'm in charge of. And to Vicky's point, I don't think I would say marketing is my passion. I would say that something that I've learned being at UPS, and it's been 6 years now, is helping small and medium business owners has become a passion for me. I have had such great connections, conversations, insights into entrepreneurs and small and business owners. And you hear it a lot, at least here in the United States. They're really what make the economy grow and move. They employ so much of our individuals here in the United States. And honestly, for UPS, and we're very blunt about this, they are our most profitable segment, and so our enterprise huge customers don't give us the profit that the small and medium businesses do. And so anyway, so from a business standpoint, we want to focus on that, but also me personally, I've just really enjoyed meeting the people behind the services that we provide, and so if I can really understand the customer, what they need, what their pain points are. As you mentioned, Anita, the UPS is such a huge company that we really have a lot of resources to be able to meet those needs. And so if I can use my influence to meet those needs in a way that makes sense for the business, that's what gets me really excited. And I don't know if I would still say it's my passion, but it's become something that I am really excited about and get motivated by from a professional standpoint.
And I noticed because I'm friends with you on Facebook and LinkedIn, you're involved in other things besides your business. I'm not sure how you find time for that, but it's really important, I think, to know that this idea of networking with others and supporting the Latino Chamber of Commerce and those kind of things. How did you get involved in those, and how do you find the time to, and what benefit does it have? That's a lot of questions.
Yeah, absolutely. So it is, and I'll just briefly mention, I am originally from Mexico. I was born in a city called Monterrey. I lived there until I was 5 years old. And then my family moved to Miami, Florida, in the United States, which, if you know anything about Miami, I call it the capital of Latin America. It is just, there are so many people from all over Latin America that live in Miami. And so I grew up there my entire basically up until I graduated from college, I was in Miami. And so I was constantly surrounded by people of maybe not Mexican culture, my country in particular, but from Latin culture. So Cubans, Dominicans, Colombians, and so the language was there, the overall culture, the food, the music. And so that's always been home for me. And when I left Miami, I realized Miami's pretty unique. Nowhere else in the country do I find this rich, just prolific Hispanic community. And so I've always been very intentional about wherever I go to find those networking groups. So whether it was an undergraduate, I found a club. I was VP of outreach for the Latin American Business Association within my business school. And so that's always been something that I've gravitated towards just because we have Hispanics in the United States are, as a population, continue to grow. We're reaching 20% of the population, but you really don't see that representation at business levels, at management levels, at executive levels. I read recently that only 4% of executives are Hispanic in the United States. That's
Wow.
vastly, that's so much lower than the percentage that we are of the population. So now that I am in the business world, and I can certainly share about my shift into corporate, it's just been that's been a passion of mine of how do I bring up others who may not have had the opportunities that I have or who don't have the network, or how can I help them with skills, any of that. And so I am on the board for the women's group under our Georgia, which is the state that I live in, Georgia Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So UPS is a sponsor. We have a great partnership. So it's been um, a very nice intersection between my role at my job and then obviously my role in the community. And as to time, man, that's tough. That is because I don't feel like I have a lot of time. I have four kids between the ages of 3 and 7 years old. And so they still are very dependent on my husband and me. But we are out of the baby phase, which I think has been a real blessing, honestly, for us. I feel like we've been able to breathe a little bit more. And so there are evenings that I'm okay, going off to what I need to do. And then there are evenings that my husband goes off and meets with his friends or networks. And so that's been helpful. But I have had to say no to other things. So sometimes I'm just the promotion, sometimes I just communicate, but I actually don't go to the events. So I think it just depends on prioritization. What am I going to prioritize? But in general, being able to build up the Latino community, particularly in business, is something that I'm passionate about.
Before we talk about your family, could we learn a little bit about your career ladder, like from the time you
Yes,
graduated from college to where you are
yes,
today? Could we hear a little bit about that? I think that would be really interesting.
absolutely. Yes. So when I graduated undergrad and as a psychology major, but knew I did not want to go down a psychology route. Yeah, so Anita, we have something in common, although I never practiced, never ever practiced. I went straight into nonprofit. And so for a short time, actually led a college ministry at my church in a small city in Illinois. But then about a year and a half afterwards is really when I started working for several years for a nonprofit in Chicago area. In Chicago, Illinois, I provided immigration legal services, mostly family-based and citizenship services, and I led our advocacy efforts. So we did a lot of advocacy for immigrants and refugees in the area. So as you can see, international has always been just a part of what I love to do and who I want to be connected to.